Here we go, another big heat. Italo Ferreira is up against one of his good friends, injury replacement, Tomas Hermes. And Italo is actually carrying a little bit of a knee injury into this heat. Saw him this morning. Looked a little bit more comfortable than he did yesterday. Yesterday, limping around the competitors' area a little bit. But he started to really warm up in his first round heat, and towards the end you wouldn't know that he had an injured knee, putting together a couple of the bigger airs we saw in the first round. But it's Tomas Hermes who gets started early. A lively floater, just tweaking his board. Out in the lineup now though, just over 22.5 minutes to go as Italo Ferreira takes to the air. Little air reverse off the shoulder to get started, bringing it through to the inside. Still looking to add some points as he climbs right up the front of his board, steps back on the tail and whips that backhand snap on the end section.
Italo doing what Italo does, staying really busy and energetic.
He's really fast and has plenty of options once he approaches the lip. But here we go, this is Tomas Hermes. And he has found a nice little wave to play with here, but just overextends on that backhand snap and catches a rail trying to ride out of that move.
That was a brutal mistake for Tomas Hermes because that wave had one more nice closeout section that he could have tagged and potentially grabbed himself a 7, maybe a 7.5, something in that neighborhood. So a squandered opportunity there.
Well, let's have another look at it. What goes wrong here, Ross?
Well, I like the positioning. He made sure he didn't get caught behind. 2 nice snaps there, and I think that first snap was just a setup turn, so he wanted to get, put more oomph into that second turn, but that tail slid out a little more than he anticipated. You could see Italo found the right off of that left and popped a big old air, but got disconnected.
Us and his peers. 30 minutes remaining in this one, and Italo has the lead. He's got the highest scoring ride of this heat so far, a 5.33.
Yeah, Italo, to me, I think my overall assessment, like pretty good tube rider, but just a really feisty competitor. That's the thing that really breaks through for me about Italo and his surfing. He just milks every wave to the death, and he's exciting, very original surfer. He surfs different from anyone on tour. Does some, kind of trippy airs. He does those big old wafty tail wafts out into the channel. It looks different from most guys, but he does it with so much speed. That's what makes it look cool. And if he did those airs a little slower, it wouldn't look as good, but he is so fast and energetic that, you just can't help but to throw big scores at it.
Saw some scoring opportunity there as Tomas Hermes looks to find a corner here, and Tomas has priority, and he's going to swing. Drops to the bottom, drives up, nice bottom turn. Clean hit to get started. Second turn, just a cut down, nice and strong, and brings it through to the inside and throws the tail, but just loses control. And we've seen a lot of that throughout the event. It's very hard to just dig your board out on that shallow sandbar.
Well, that's twice now. Tomas Hermes, he could almost have pocket 8s right now. That left-hander, we saw that tail drift more than he anticipated and fell. And on that last turn, kind of the same thing. So that board, it might be really zippy and fast, but it's creating some extra pop when he's not ready for it.
Well, this still might be the best wave of the heat, though.
He pulled off a couple of smooth snaps. I like that setup turn, throwing some spray. Another zippy carve right there from Tomas. And this is where that tail pops. So really aggressive move. I liked it. And I think 9 out of 10 times, Tomas Hermes would come flying out of that, but just a little bit of pressure. The toes get a little tingly and he couldn't ride out of it. The
energy just fades away so quickly here once that wave impacts on the shallow sandbar, like Pete mentioned. It's hard to get that help, that extra nudge back to your feet, as we see Italo trying to fight his way back into the lead. A lightning fast backside reverse, just kick that tail right out and keeps whipping his board. He likes it. 7.5 minutes to go. Only needs a 4.42 to jump into the lead. And there's just that little bit of spice that you'd mentioned earlier that Italo has. It's a little different to what you see from everyone else in the backside reverse department. Really threw his board out towards the beach.
Yeah, it's just a big old tail huck, and it's a wafting maneuver. It's very functional though, and it's fast. He gets right back to the next maneuver.
Well, Tomas gets an opportunity too. Nice transition down the line to arrive at this section. Throws a frontside air, but it pushes him out the back, and He can't reconnect with the wall.
That's
So Tomas has taken a few falls now.
I'll tell you what, Tomas is definitely in sync with some good waves right now. He's had a handful of waves that all have been keepers, but again, just disconnecting on that area. It was a nice ramp, so he'll be a little salty that he couldn't capitalize on that. And Italo Ferreira only needs a 4.42. I think he'll get it based on this maneuver right there. So it was actually a second maneuver. That first maneuver, nice setup turn, little tap into that tail waft, and then finishes the wave off. So the judges might get excited about that wave. It could even break into, high sevens, something around there.
I don't think they're filming. Are they filming?
Yeah.
Oh.
So coming into the next event, you're looking at pipeline. You're a pipe master, Julian. You still got plenty to go here. You're still in the race. You got to have that in the back of your mind.
For sure. I think after this event, I'll be out of the race, but definitely, once I go home and recharge for a minute and...
We got 20 seconds, maybe one little giblet here to go.
And it is Italo Ferreira with priority though, so he's going to swoop on this one, brings it through to the inside. Couple of clean floating re-entries, and he quickly looks over his shoulder to see what Tomas is up to. As this heat comes to a close, he gets to his feet before the hooter, and he's got a couple of sections to work with here, throwing his board vertically. Throws a little shaka Italo's way.
Oh, for a second I thought it was like a claim shaka, but yeah, he was just giving his boy some props. Yeah, that wave just too micro, really small. You can't see a 4.3 in it.
Well, that's going to be a tough one for Tomas to deal with, because he was on the best waves of that heat, but just wasn't able to finish them off.
Bullet dodged by Italo as well.